Hello everyone, and welcome to the second game of the Continental Wars 2 tournament. First game did go to Gaucho, but it was it had some up and downs in the game. So this is the home map of NC, and we'll see what kind of tricks they can pull. Tsunami, it's a very weird map. Should be a lot of fun though. And I'm joined here with Nilly, of course.
Yeah, and I'm interested how they will play this out. They are playing with the same civilizations, obviously. Portuguese extremely good, Italians very strong, and on the other side, Malay, they can make something happen, but also being pocket doesn't really help out there. So it feels NC with a strong set of civilizations for this map.
Oh, definitely the stronger water civilizations. I think certainly the Portuguese are underrated on water. Italians, we know how good they are. Malians get a wood bonus. Some of these civilizations, I'm sure, don't get all of the dock technologies. I know for sure that the Malians are at least missing. Maybe they're missing fast fire and heavy demo. I can't remember, but they're missing something. So that might come in later on in the game.
Bracer.
Oh yeah, then Bracer. I just realized that I've only seen this map with Age of Conquerors and Galley Wars. Do you know how things... I remember a conversation last week about whether fire ships get a hill bonus, or do you know what would be stronger with the hills?
Apparently, fire ships don't get hill bonuses. So that's kind of surprising to me from how the game is designed, but apparently that's how it is. And galleys, I think, with the long distances should be very strong.
Okay, but they do take less damage going up hills, I assume.
Yeah. Probably if the galley shoots them, for sure. Yes, they have to take more damage.
And to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of, pure water maps on the New Balance. I've seen a lot of mixed water maps, but pure water maps with random civilizations, I haven't seen too much of that.
Yeah. People thought about adding some more water maps. People cried out.
Nothing.
I even thought about adding islands into NAC2, but water only feels very one-dimensional as well.
It's okay for variety, but I think that certainly the strength of Age of Empires has always been designed around land play, and I think that I don't have to explain that any further.
I love mixed maps. So Pedro's playing docking defensively, Philip offensively. Take a look. LB10 very defensive dock there, and Enderine an aggressive dock. That's kind of weird. LB10 having a dock over there. That's a pretty bad one if you ask me.
Yeah, there's one fish there, and yeah, you'd want to go towards where the larger waters would be, of course. They, of course, get their line of sight bonuses too, which would be pretty interesting on this kind of map. Normally, galley battles are kind of like a shot in the dark. You hope your galleys run into your opponent's galleys or find their docks or whatever, but certainly the line of sight bonuses should make this a little interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, Blackstock there, kind of in the north alone, while everyone, Nikov is building his dock aggressively. BH and Mate are building it defensively. I'm not sure if all of them have a clear team plan here.
If I was part of the team, and I don't like water maps as much as I should have, I would have definitely focused on the land maps and hope things go for the best on the water maps.
Yeah, I'm curious. I also want to see if we get into the scenario that NC is winning this one, what their home map will be, because we still have a lot of interesting maps. You cannot pick Arabia again.
Yeah, there are tons of interesting maps, and I'm glad to see that as this tournament will be going later and later, we'll be seeing different maps, because there are so many to choose from, and a lot of them I have not seen it before either.
Yeah, I think maybe Hills could be a good pick for Gauchos, but let's focus on this game first. With Enderine with the solid start, 929 there. Philip is following him, Black is following. I think Nikov might be clicking up pretty soon as well. Well, actually, that looks like a fast castle build-up from Nikov. Look at that. That's still a lot of villagers on wood. 2 docks. Nikov will play fast castle.
Well, I hope he gets his build right because, of course, I think players are figuring out the Malay better, but there are chances for a big screw-up, of course, if you go up too early. So I think that hopefully Nikov will take his time.
I think he might. He's still having a lot of villagers on wood. This might be like pop 36 or something, top 38 uptime. I'm really curious, and now I can somewhat understand. Oh, Black, look at him.
Yeah, Black going for the early transport. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy we see this. Oh, this is so great. Yeah, he's playing against a pretty good early game civilization. He's going against the Italians, which, of course, Italians could go water. They're your strongest water civilization out of this group. So this could be very unexpected, certainly for Andrew. And I would, if you're a flank, maybe put a few outposts out across the map. But certainly we didn't see that. And here we go. Black going to place down his barracks.
Oh, and that's so ugly against the Italian player. And Andorin, let's take a look. He's sending a villager out there.
How did he see this?
Is he spotting something? Did he see the scout? He saw the scout. I think the scout was running in the vision of the TC. And he sees the landing now.
Is it too late, though?
Start for Andorin to defend. Well, it's only a barracks for now, right? And he pushes the landing away. Good stuff.
Well, is he going to go back after that, or? Yeah, so is that it? Do you think that's enough to shut down the forward? This is a good play from Black going back, or he's going to land somewhere else?
I think I would have finished in archer range. It's impossible to be completely stopped. And now, well, this is getting scary. Another landing, transporter going down most likely, and Andorin, he's already there with the villager. Might block this all off, and, well, I think Andorin will be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, that's right next to the water. I mean, all Andorin has to do is build a few galleys, and that would be it. I think Black needs to build a transport ship ASAP if he wants to be able to run away with these villagers.
Look at the other side, Fiat, he's trushing Pedro, and that's in both of his stones, but so Pedro cannot play defensive towers there. Might want to land away, losing some villagers against the scout there even. So we have double aggression from the flanks, and very defensive players from the two pockets who will both play fast castle. So it was a team strategy after all from Gaucho, I just didn't see it.
This is a lot more. We talked so much about the hills earlier on in the game, but really we're just seeing a lot of forwards in the early game, which certainly is very interesting. This is a game that I pretty much like. I like so far.
It's so annoying to play against if you're Pedro or Andorin here for sure. Now builds a galley, might stop this. Even builds a demo to get some of the villagers. Let's take a look. If he can he not reach that villager?
I think he can. Yeah. Oh, it's down.
Okay.
It's a great play from Andrew in making sure the villager builds most of the archer range and then kills that at the very end.
Oh, we hear the demo. Why did the demo go? I have no idea. Blackie is actually coming over with another transporter, but instantly dying there. It feels like Andorin defended. Fiat at the same time, he advances quite nicely against Pedro, who doesn't see the tower. Look at Pedro's point of view. He does not see the tower.
Super unfortunate for him. Oh, I think he just saw it right now, but the tower's already up. He's gonna go for the... Might be able to take out the tower though. Just barely seeing it last second, right as VH was getting up with the walls. Nice quick reaction from Pedro, but little gate coming in. Might lose a few villagers here.
Wouldn't be too important, the gate though. And I hate that Pedro didn't do Town Watch very early on. Such an important upgrade against tower rushes.
Yeah, it's a good upgrade if you're tower rushing as well. Very underrated upgrade in the early game. You kind of have to know when you need Town Watch and when you shouldn't have it. But,
okay,
go ahead.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what the other players are doing. Fishing ship count 11 and 13 for the Gaucho pockets. On the other side, we have 9, 4, 4, 4, 4. So, well, kind of even when it comes to the whole teams. And villager counts, Black is pretty low. This looks good for NC so far. The big question is, how will they transition into Castle Age though?
It looks good for NC so far. I do really love the fish boom though from the Gaucho team. Just Mate and Nikov have tons of deep fish going, and I noticed that LB10 and Andorin really don't. They're all on short fish or don't have a lot of fish in general. Or Philip as well.
Philip should have added a dock in the back. After they saw that the enemies were going so heavily on land, he should have added a dock in the back, added 5 fishing ship, because he should have known that the others are playing this quite defensively as well. And his eco is the worst out of all the 4 pockets.
Yeah, and that really shouldn't be the case, but some players getting up their upgrades. Mate now getting into the War Galley upgrade. And hopefully be able to push back. Philip, who's kind of pushing in on the bottom.
Yeah, but he is still only feudal age, and now you have no chance. Look at that, Nikov around and mate. Philip needs to retreat. This 10 more HP won't really help him. What is he doing? He cannot take this fight. This is so bad.
Yeah, that's... You don't want... At least what you want... With Fire Galleys, you want to make sure you don't take the... You know, take the worst fights, and it's pretty obvious which fights should be bad since there isn't much room for Micro. Nice. We have a demolition ship coming out from mate. Hopefully we'll be able to get a good shot off.
Like, look how he connects. What is Philip doing? Just right-click back to your home base. So much better. By the way, new landing from Black there. And Enderine, that isn't walled, man. Are you kidding me? How is he not knowing this? It's 2018.
So many things going on in this map. It's 2018.
Yeah, and he still isn't walling properly with the gates.
Oh, they're diagonal. Sometimes they have, I think, holes in them. But yeah.
Always, unless you build the foundation first.
Yeah. So yeah, huge raid from Black. I noticed VH is as well counter towering, I believe, onto Philip, and should be able to take away the gold of Philip.
And Philip, well, he didn't do town watch either. This is just so bad, guys. If you're watching this, if you ever see someone tower rushing of your teammates, or like see that one of your teammates is getting tower rushed, do town watch early on. You don't want to face what Philip is facing now.
I think luckily though, these archers from Black should get cleaned up. They're stuck under the tower, and there's 3 skirmishers now out for Andrin, so he should be able to clean that up despite taking pretty massive damage. Scores right now 100 ahead for Gaucho, and should only get a little bit further as the game goes on, in my opinion.
Let's see. Luckily for Philip, he still has a gold in the bag, not too greatly positioned there, but well, we will see. It's still all about who plays the better pockets here. Maybe LB10 can make something happen, but what we mentioned earlier, he is not the guy who can carry the game in Imperial Age because he's still missing that precious bracer.
Yeah, well, we'll see if the game gets to that stage. Yeah, FH doing some pretty good job with his towers, and then back in the middle of the map, at least NC did have a pretty good fight there. Was going against Mate, and Mate lost a few fire galleys, although Philip will now have to move back as he's getting his upgrades.
Well, let's take a look. He is still very active. Has quite an okay KD there, 18 to 16. I expected it to be worse, but well, still okay for him. And now has the hill advantage with the war galleys. I think he should be fine defending this.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that certainly galleys will be the dominant thing that we see in this particular team game, like we predicted earlier. So far, I think the momentum of the game might be swinging a little bit into NC's favor as far as the galley numbers goes. LB10 has a lot of galleys. Philip has a lot of galleys as well. I don't necessarily like all the fire ships from Mate. Hopefully they can swing back the momentum in that way.
Yeah, he should transition. I think in the long run he has all the good upgrades when it comes to fast fire ships or something. So maybe he's transitioning into that quite early. 56 villagers for him, and he does not need the buildings. So maybe staying on fast fire ship and not going for ballistics could be a good option. And obviously taking great fights like those are really helping him out as well.
Yeah, well, I take back what I said. Nikov's now going up to the next age, so that certainly will be a huge momentum swing.
25-18. 3 TCs running for him, so much fish. He's just a beast in scenarios like those.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he should hopefully be able to do the damage. Is he going to go into fast fire ships, or would you prefer to see galleons in this scenario?
I think Galleon is clearly the better unit. Fast fire ships obviously pressure quite a lot, and T is staying on those. But I think Galleon is what I would have loved, but I think it doesn't really matter. He will clear house with any unit he builds now.
And FH really isn't on the water too much. He's very much focusing on his landing. He's upgraded to guard tower, which he loves to do, and he's gotten a siege workshop up.
Pretty sure what Pedro's mission is here as well. Now tries to get one mangonel out against those guard towers. And well, now it all comes down. How can they stop Nikov? I don't really see any big demos. Messed up as well. LB10, yeah, he's camping some hills, but now they need to combine forces to somehow fight Nikov.
Well, at the very least, this kind of promotes the defender's advantage, this particular map. If VH is not able to do any damage, they essentially have one extra player on the water, I believe.
Yeah, but still, fast fire ships, they take 1 damage against war galleys here. And then you need quite a bit to do any reasonable damage. Oh, Pedro with a nice landing around the corner here, trying to fight off Mr. VH, who has 0 answers at the moment. Now tries to rush out the castle, but that could be pretty bad if Pedro pays a lot of attention.
Yeah, certainly. It could be a horrible, horrible decision. I really love this upgrade. I just have to point this out. I see the shipwright upgrade coming in very early from Nikov, and I just love that upgrade this early.
Pedro, he should go more aggressively. He has 3 mangonels out. He's trying to get some kills in, not repairing in time. TC is killing 1 mangonel, and well, Pedro, he will see that castle go up.
Yeah, and that should hopefully put a end to the aggression for Pedro. Unfortunately, going up with that town center right there, and yeah, a lot of monks for Pedro, so that they're not really going to be able to push in, especially against the guard towers and the castle of VH.
Yeah, VH defended that in time. Good job here, blocking those gold spots as well. And now we kind of get into the phase where the center gets really important. And LB10 was here first, but without any army, the buildings and the castle tier of Black and Mate will probably go up.
Yeah, I did want to mention on this map that wood is actually a huge problem for these players. There's not a lot of wood on their main islands, not to mention that it's all, you know, hittable by galleons. So the middle is a huge part of this game, you know, starting right about 30 minutes here.
Yeah, and you see, NC knows about that. He's coming over, and see Enderin is now landing in the center as well. But it will get tricky. Still no real answer to Nikov, who is more than 2k score ahead of the second player.
Yeah, Nikov's really taken over this game, taken over a lot of the map control in the middle, taking out some of the docks, even of Philip, poor Philip, in the series.
Well, it's so easy to look bad against Nikov as well, right?
This is true, yeah. This is 100% true.
Yeah, a lot of people criticize that Nikov is actually playing in this tournament because the tournament was designed for teams that aren't competing in ECL. And then we have a team of FedEx, VH, Nikov, Black, which all are 2.2k till 2.5k. So it doesn't really feel fair, but still, I love to see great players play as well.
I think so too. I think it gives a nice opportunity, at least if you do somehow beat this team, it really gives your clan a lot of legitimacy to beat those names.
Yeah, well, that's true as well. And well, the greater players you have, the weaker civilizations you get in the end. We have now condos for our Malian player in the center here. Tries to do some trapping. LB10 again, trying to carry his team, but we need to see someone going on water quite heavily pretty soon here from NC, but no one really on the way to Imp.
Yeah, I mean, which player is it going to be? Is it going to be Andorin? Is it going to be, you know, LB10? Neither of them have really a lot of military out in the field. All of them below 15 military. Meanwhile, Nikov at 40, Mate at 30. So the 2 strongest players for them beating all of the players individually for the NC team as far as army count goes.
Yeah. So what are the chances here for NC? Land isn't looking too great for them. Anderin's still not on the way to Imp, neither is Philip. So great water control kind of out of the question. And if we take a look at military count, it looks like 70 to 30.
Well, I'll give you a small bright spot, at least for the NC team. That is, Pedro's up to the next age, and he's got a castle coming out, so he's going to come out with some trebs and start attacking VH.
Okay. Something bright on the horizon. Pedro's getting some conversions here. Got 2. Oh, got 3 even. Fast fire ships here.
Yeah, so it's looking bright, at least for on that side. But of course, the most important thing is in the middle of the map where most of the resources are. Shipwreck coming in from mate. I just love to see that upgrade. And these traps, I mean, once you lose the middle, it's really hard to get back on it.
Yeah, it's basically impossible. And for now, it looks better for NC. They have castles there. They have more traps out. Maybe transition to bombard cannons could be pretty nice. And look at that. Nikov, he's already building castle number 3. What is he going for? Is that mass karambits? Yes, it is. And there's not a lot of protection for those traps at the moment.
Yeah, certainly not. Well, it would be pretty easy to wall that if they wanted to. Obviously, they have not put in the effort to do so. Bear in mind, those are Black's walls and not LB10's walls, so they can be deleted at any point.
Oh, I'm really curious how this will play out. Maybe Pedro can still kill FH and they can control the water and then maybe sling someone to take the whole water back. That could be... Oof, I still have a dream.
I think the dream is definitely alive here. Somehow, if these trebuchets are able to be protected by maybe these condottieros, there's some monks there in the middle. So it's possible that those trebs do stay up and hopefully kick off Nikov. Nikov will run out of resources, in fact, pretty soon, as he's pretty much out of wood on his own island. And pretty good bet that FH crumbles under the pressure too.
Mandarin is actually converting some half population units, something we don't see too often, trying to repair those traps. Now, beautiful team play here, and it might look like the trap is surviving, and that's all the karambits going down. Beautiful move here for NC.
Those karambits, I mean, they do so little damage to the trebs that they're hardly even a threat. That's could be 3 castles down from Nikov with no middle control. They do have to kick off mate. However, that castle is certainly doing its job in keeping him close at the end of the map. And LB10 going to pack up his trebs. And maybe they do have good chances in this game. Maybe we see a little bit of a comeback here. Good strategy going for the middle nice and early from LB10.
And who's going to save FH as well? There's no defense there. The 3 traps for Peter working. There will be a lot of gold and wood for them. And as I said earlier, how does it look for Nikov's resources on his starting island? Not too much. He needs control over the center.
Well, the problem is that on this particular map, the game is ending one way or another, because players will be running out of resources if they're not in the middle of the map. So FH has nowhere to go and rebuild because he's not going to have access to resources like he would on any other map. So, you know, maybe it just comes down to the strategy decision again from NC. This was... you know, a great strategy decision from them to go for the middle nice and early. There might be enough karambits in the middle for Nikov. He's certainly making a lot. We have to hope on that.
And the traps are going down because there's no more answer against the elite battle elephants now. We saw the monks going down earlier and he's converting at the wrong side. They really need to protect those. And now Nikov is switching into cannon galleons, trying to utilize their water control a bit more.
Yeah, the NC team losing their grip on the middle. Man, if they could have taken like one more fight and just held on for a little bit longer, then, you know, maybe they would have had a better shot at this. Certainly, there aren't a lot of resources coming in from the NC team from the middle, whereas from the Gaucho team from the middle, and the NC can continue to collect resources if they can hold. Hopefully, that'll swing that into their favor.
Well, we will see. It's still super interesting to me to see what they're doing in the center. Elephants, they should be countered by the monks, but monks should obviously be chewed away by the karambits, and therefore we have the Continentals countering that. It's a nice rocket, paper, scissor game here, but it feels like numbers are looking pretty good for the Gauchos at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, but I hope they were able to keep up with their resources. That's all I can say. And get enough resources to continue with their army production.
Take a look, some conversions, good job here for Andorin. They're even sending his karambits to the front now as well. They really need to hold the center. At the moment it is Philip finally going for more water control, goes onto Galleons, and they have a lot of HP and finally some more damage output. Maybe it's now Philip's time to make something happen.
Yeah, that would be his time for redemption in this particular matchup. Yeah, those Galleons from Portuguese, extremely strong. especially on top of those hills. I know Nikov is not really thinking about the water probably anymore. He's starting to make cannon galleons, which are not great for holding the water, certainly very expensive. So this, might be an opportunity for them. The elephants are really destroying all in the middle, though. And looks like they're able to maintain production. So that is certainly their biggest threat right now. We need to see more military production from LB10, and looks like they won't be able to hold on to it. Tusk Swords coming in from the Khmer player.
Oh man, and he will have some damage output on those elephants. Now even the Ramba is around to kill all the infantry of LB10. They might be losing their starting island. In the meanwhile, VH, he's going for his fourth island. Not only a starting island, not only Pedro and Philip. No, now he's also landing the island of Black.
Yeah, well, you have to be able to find resources in some way, and certainly that is the best option for now. Kind of VH just needs to be annoying while hopefully they take down this castle. Castle should be going down momentarily, and I think that's going to be game as they take over the middle and take over with the resources. All in the middle.
Well, it's still 5 against 3 starting islands, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And it's at the moment only Philip on galleons, still lacking his upgrades on his boats there when it comes to defense, which are so important. But I think maybe Philip can carry this.
Well, we'll have to see how strong these Portuguese galleons are. Hopefully Philip can keep his army together, take a good fight against Nikov. He hasn't researched the cannon galleon upgrade, which I think would be very worthwhile. I mean, the middle is very exposed to cannon galleons, if we see that. There's a lot of different strategic aspects of this map. So far I've been very impressed by this map and all the different things that it's had us think about.
Yeah, it is a nice map. I especially love the center island. I knew a Tsunami version where you didn't have the center island, and then it was way worse for sure. Okay, let's take a look. Philip is now taking a fight on the water against Nikov. Should be winning this one even uphill. And now it is time for LB10 to go on water as well, or is he just going for transporters here? I have no idea where he wants to go.
I mean, I think the key is there's so many elephants on that mainland, and I don't think it's even worth contesting it, and Urimbai as well. I think the best thing would be to try to give as much as you can to go water, try to win it, and, make some cannon galleons, and then make a little bit of a push for the middle.
Yeah, it could be a good option. For now, LB10 is only getting onto villages though, so it feels like Philip against the world on water at the moment, still lacking those defense upgrades. I really hate that he is not going for those. And Pedro, well, he needs to start another landing as well. The question is where to.
Yeah, Philip lacking actually 2 defense upgrades. He gets one for his unique tech and one for careening, which is a very cheap upgrade. There's no reason not to get that.
Absolutely, and well, now he's fighting uphill here with all his ships. And on the other side, we have LB10 still only going for transporters, not really water. What is Andrew up to? Didn't see much from him for quite some time as well. He's still in Castle Age. Did he sling?
Exactly sure. He's got a huge base back at home, though.
Yeah, he's slung Philip on 2 ships. Okay. But now it's GG.
Yeah, GG. Good game. A little bit similar to the first game where we saw NC definitely give some good blows to the other team and give them a good run for their money's worth. At one point, I thought NC might have taken this game when they were trebbing down those 3 castles of Nikov. Certainly, they could have gone into the middle a little bit earlier, but and VH coming pretty much out of this game as well. But great play from the Gaucho team, showing us why they're the #1 seed in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the main mistake here was NC, first of all, not adding enough fish after they saw that no early attack is coming on. Then the defenses
huge mistake.
of Andorin and Pedro were okay, I think, not going downwards too early. But I think the main thing was really not walling in the center. Just think about it. If they had the stone walls and had all their 5-6 traps working for themselves, they could have gotten all the stables, all the castles, and just sit behind walls with your condos and monks. I think they could have had the middle island so easily.
Oh, absolutely. I think that, again, if they had some walls there, maybe had a few more trebuchets, maybe 2 or 3 more, and somehow were able to attack Mate as well, who was making elephants and holding behind his castle. that could have been a game changer right there. And yeah, NC definitely had the chances to take probably both these games.
Ah, feels bad, man. If only there were other NC players who have helped them out.